Loudermilk, Congressman, thank you for joining us. I would love to know from you, what was the president's mood like yesterday?
Well, it's good to be with you again, Stuart.
Yes.
It was interesting. We went in and basically the president talked about the urgency of this national security crisis we have down on the border. And as we started telling him, Mr. President, we're here to encourage you that we can do what you told Nancy Pelosi a couple of weeks ago, that we have the votes to do this and that we've got your back. And he was elated. And I shared with him, I said, Mr. President, look, there is a statue or a national monument in San Antonio, Texas called the Alamo. And that is a monument not because they won there, but because they fought there. And the American people are looking for us to stand up and do what is right and do what they want us to do. And we in the House are willing to do that. And he was elated.
But it appears that those in the Senate are not. And so we have a standoff, if you like, to keep with the Alamo analogy. So do you believe that something can get done in the Senate? Does the nuclear option, get used? Or are we going to see the government shut down at midnight tonight?
I think it's heading toward a shutdown simply because this is back in Chuck Schumer's lap as it was a year ago. This is their opportunity. They talk about compromise, but their definition of compromise is our way or the highway. I mean, they even came out and said, look, we'll do $1.6 billion, but we're going to put so many restrictions on it that you can't really use it for what you need to. Look, I think that the president may, I'm not speaking for him, but I think he would accept something with no restrictions. It may not even have to be $5 billion.
Right.
But I don't think they're willing to do it, even though just 5 years ago they were all for border security, enhancing our barriers. But today they're against it. Why? Because the president wants it.
Another one, Congressman, while we have you there, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis resigning, the announcement coming just one day after President Trump announced he's pulling troops out of Syria. I know you are former Air Force, correct? What's your reaction to this? Is this a good move or not?
Well, I think it's something that we need to look at doing because, look, how long have we been over there? How long have we been in the Middle East? Look, we dealt with radical Islamic terrorists in the Washington and Jefferson administration. It's always going to exist. This should be no surprise. The president has been talking about this since 2013. It was a huge plank in his platform running for president. I think we need to talk about the scale down, but he's not talking, from my understanding, he's not talking about totally just leaving, just pulling our boots off the ground, bringing them home. Look, I also feel for the soldiers that are on the ground. My son was Army Airborne, and we need to make sure that where we put our soldiers, they're being effective and they're being used correctly. But on the other hand, we also have to look. We have a $21 trillion debt, and Jim Mattis has also said that is the #1 national security threat that we have, and so we have to look at how can we save